What's up everyone, Tyler.M here and welcome to Tyler.M TV. For those of you who are not subscribed, you can subscribe down below so you don't miss a video, and for those of you that are, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the series on Netflix that is called Squid Games. Now for those of you that are still watching it or have not watched it, this is just a heads up. This is going to be a spoiler alert. So if you guys have not finished it or are planning to watch it, go ahead and watch some other videos on my channel. But now that that's out of the way, let's get into today's video, and we're going to be looking at some hints that were throughout the show that were guiding us towards what the ending was. Now I know for me, I did not see that ending coming, but now that I look back and now that I know the little hints, it all makes sense. Now the first little hint that you may have not picked up on is when they're in that bunk room, all the games are displayed on the wall behind them. But you only get to see the games once the bunks start disappearing as people get eliminated. So as everyone's in this bunk room, they're trying to figure out what the next game could be when the games are literally right in front of their face. Now another thing that happened in the series that was kind of a little hint is the older gentleman started counting the players, which didn't really make sense because the total number was displayed on a sign. Now the older gentleman goes on to give a reason of why he's counting, but the rumor is that the older man was sizing up his opponents. Now the next thing that we're going to be getting into is when they began to play the game red light, green light. If you guys did not notice, when the radar points out the people, the older gentleman wasn't exactly highlighted how everyone else was. You can see everyone highlighted in complete green when the older gentleman was only slightly highlighted. So the sensor would be able to distinguish where he was and the person not to shoot. Now another thing is in the series, they end up coming down to a vote. Now this vote is to decide whether people want to continue playing or if they are over the game. Now something interesting is it actually starts with the highest number, leaving the oldest man to be the last person to vote. Now the reason behind that is because if the majority had voted that they wanted to continue playing, it wouldn't really matter. But if it was tied, the older gentleman would decide to not continue playing the game so that people, if they did return, it was through their own free will. And with that, the older man would not feel guilty about the people playing the game. Now eventually the players end up deciding to return to the game and play once more. But as they get picked up and they get into the vehicles, the older gentleman does not get gassed like everyone else. Now the reason behind that is because gassing the older man would make no sense because he already knows where they're going and where this island is located. Now another big giveaway was in one of the scenes of the series, everyone starts to brawl in the room with the bunks. Now the guards do not step in until the older man begins to scream, telling everyone to stop. It's at that point the guards come into the room to break the brawl up. Now another thing that you may not have noticed, when they get into the tug of war game, it seems everyone is chained to the rope. But if you look closely, it looks like the older gentleman has a bit more space than everyone else to get out of the cuffs. Just in case things didn't go as planned, the older gentleman had a way out. Now another big hint is when the police officer infiltrates the island and infiltrates the guards, he finds himself in the records room. And as he's digging through the records, he sees a bunch of numbers and a bunch of names that everyone is accounted for games that had happened in the past. Now when he gets to the most recent record, there is no record of player number 1. The record simply starts at player number 2, and that reason being, the older gentleman didn't need a record for himself because he was the one running the game. Another big hint is when they play the marbles game, they're released into a set of a neighborhood, and the older man continues referencing how this is exactly like the neighborhood he used to live in. Also, as he wanders around the built neighborhood, he continues to go through memories of his life.
내가 퇴근하고 집에 오면은 아들놈이 친구들이랑 신나게 놀고 있었어. 아빠가 온 줄도 모르고 말이야. 정신 차리라고요. 나는 저 전봇대 뒤에 숨어서 아들놈이 노는 거를 몰래 훔쳐봐.
Another thing that happens in this scene is when the older man loses the game, you don't actually see him be executed. You simply hear the gunshot in the distance as the main character walks away, but there is no evidence that the older man was actually killed. Another interesting thing is that all of the major characters had done something in their life that now the karma had been coming back to them. One character steals his boss's money, and in the game of marbles, he gets his marbles stolen from him. Another character jumps off a bridge to get away from his enemies trying to kill him. Then later in the game, he is grabbed and dragged to his death by falling from the glass bridge. This next character held her broker at knife point, and then when she was later killed, she was killed by having her throat slit. The last character had tried to commit suicide before, and in the last game, the Squid game, he ends up taking his own life. Another interesting thing that you may have not noticed, when they show you a little bit about the people on the screen, it seems that all the players have chosen blue. Now it's said that the color that you first choose when you're approached will be the choice of the position that you take in the game. If you chose red, you would be a game official. If you chose blue, you would take part in the game. Now I want to know what you guys think about everything down below in the comments and what you guys thought about this series. But I'm going to go ahead and close out today's video here. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, give it a nice big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you guys continuously give me. It means the world to me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.